Hi there, welcome to EB1 and NIW Guru. Well, it's time for EB1 lectures today, okay? I'll try to keep it short. So, when you go to the USCIS website for learning about employment-based preference, visas or immigration, there is actually 5 categories at least, if not more. And based on the level of achievements, they go from 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So the first preference that the USCIS gives is for people who meet this criteria. Number 1, extraordinary ability. Number 2, outstanding professors and researchers. Number 3, certain multinational manager or executive positions. All right, let's quickly dive in and talk about extraordinary ability. What do you need to prove to say that, yes, I do have extraordinary ability? Number 1, you must be able to demonstrate extraordinary ability in sciences, arts, education, business, or athletics through sustained national or international acclaim. You must meet at least 3 of the 10 criteria below, or provide evidence for a one-time achievement that's outstanding. It can be an Oscar, it can be an Olympic medal, or anything of that sorts. It could be a an award that is not famous, but if you can prove that it is technically powerful enough to merit a green card for you, then yes, it doesn't have to be a famous award. It doesn't have to be a popular, it doesn't have to be even known. But if you can prove that this needs credit, then yes, you can get it. As well as evidence showing that you will be continuing to work in the same area of your expertise and advance in the same field. You don't actually need to have a job offer in the area of achievements that you've shown, right? So that's number 1. And did I apply for this? Indeed. Right? What did I prove? Well, I proved that I have published certain case reports and retrospective studies that I did in the specific area of interest, which is lung nodules and lung cancer screening. And I used that as one of my criteria in my extensive application for extraordinary ability. Okay, so that's number 1. Next option is either you can be an outstanding professor and or a researcher. All right. You must demonstrate international recognition for your outstanding achievements in a particular academic field. You can't be all over the place. It has to be preferably a specific field, right? You can't talk about nephrology or kidneys for a little part of your application and then talk something about stomach cancers and then suddenly talk about migraines. No, it has to be very focused. Okay, I'm really good at this, and therefore I have the expertise to advance in the same field. Even though you may not actually go into that field, it's totally fine, right? For example, I talked about certain specific aspects of lung cancer screening, but I'm not necessarily doing that right now in my career. Okay, so you must be entering the United States in order to pursue tenure or tenure track teaching or comparable research position at a university, institution of higher education, or a private employer. So you have to be able to show them that you're potentially continuing a career in the area of research if you're using that as your criteria. And for that, evidences, for instance, you must meet at least 2 of 6 criteria listed below and provide an offer of employment from a prospective U.S. employer, right? And you must provide an offer of employment if you're an outstanding professor and a researcher. Now, the private employer must show documented accomplishments and that it employs at least 3 full-time researchers. No labor certification is required. Okay, what's the third option? This is my one of my cousins. He works in one of the multinational consulting companies, and MBA, folks usually do that, things like McKinsey, Deloitte, and so on, and they work in more than one location. So you must have been employed outside the United States for at least 1 year in the 3 years preceding this petition, or the most recent lawful non-immigrant admission if you've already been working in the US for a US petitioning employer. The US petitioner must have been doing business for at least 1 year, have a qualifying relationship to the entity you worked for outside the US, and intend to employ you in a managerial or executive capacity. Right? So, for instance, your petitioning employer must be a US employer and intend to employ you in a managerial or executive capacity. The petitioner must have been doing business in the US for one year as a legal entity with a qualifying relationship to the entity you employed abroad in a managerial executive capacity, right? All right, so let's see the specific criteria for demonstrating extraordinary ability. In order to demonstrate you've sustained national or international acclaim and that your achievements have been recognized in your field of expertise, you must either include evidence of a one-time achievement, okay, major international award, or 3 of the 10 listed criteria below. All right, number 1, evidence of, and these are the criteria that I'm going to go in deeper with you during the course. And how I can help you achieve or even recognize that you already have these under your belt and you don't even understand that, or you undermine yourself so many times. You'll be surprised, right? Just go open your email inbox and see how many times you've been appreciated for the work you've done. Okay, so number 1, evidence of receipt of lesser nationally or internationally recognized prizes or awards. It doesn't have to be crazy famous, right? Number 2, evidence of your membership in associations in the field which demand outstanding achievement of members, right? You can't just join American College of Engineers or electrophysiologists or American College of Chest Physicians and say, yeah, I paid my dues. People know about it. Okay, it has to be something like a fellow of the college, American College or Royal College of Surgeons, etc., or Royal College of Geographists or Geologists or mathematicians, like that. Evidence of published material about you in professional or major trade publications or major media, any newsletter, any newspaper, magazine. So start talking to your hospital or your organization, your workplace, saying, hey, there is Engineers Day coming up. There is the International Climate Change Researchers Day coming up. I want to write an article for this newsletter. Can I please share this? This will be a great avenue to share the knowledge to the general public. And guess what? If that comes out, you can make use of that article. That'll be a very powerful published material about you. Okay, evidence that you've been asked to judge the work of others individually or on a panel. A simple instance, publications that are being submitted to various journals. You can be a peer reviewer, and if you multiply that, or keep repeating that for maybe 10 to 20 articles different, that's amazing. So keep all those emails that you get invitations from journals asking you to peer review. All right, evidence of your original scientific, scholarly, artistic, athletic, or business-related contributions of major significance to the field. So one of the RFE's request for evidence for me was, guys, which is me and my attorney, he's saying, the officer, you've submitted these things, but I don't think they are of major significance. Right? And they said, I don't think they're original. It seems like others are already doing this. But then we had to reply saying, no, man, this is original. Why? I listed out various reasons, and then I listed this is of major significance, right? So they all they need is explanation, direct to the point. Okay, evidence of your authorship of scholarly activities in articles in professional or major trade publications. So the previous point and this point may seem very close to each other, right? Evidence that your work has been displayed at artistic exhibitions or showcases like conferences, national meetings, and so on. Evidence of your performance of a leading or critical role in distinguished organizations. For example, your own organization, you can be a director of operations, director of a small assembly, director of a particular project, more than enough, right? Take up projects and start being a director for that. Ask your CEO, ask your CFO, saying, hey, I want to be in charge of this particular project for this month. I'm very passionate about it. So go ahead and tell them that. Evidence that you command a high salary or other high remuneration in relationship to others in your own field. So make sure you ask for higher salary when you negotiate for your jobs, because this might be useful in your EB1 application. Evidence of your commercial success in the performing arts, whether you have published music podcasts or physician podcasts. So start making podcasts and put them on YouTube, or put them on Apple Podcasts, or there's so many different podcast platforms, Spotify, TikTok, Facebook videos, reels, and all that. So start putting out content there and see, and even Twitter, see how many likes you've gotten for your posts about your publications and so on, right? That's how you show your documentation. Okay, this is just a sneak peek. Now, examples of documentary evidence that a person is an outstanding professor or researcher. I said you just need only 2 of 6 criteria in this one. Number 1, receipt of major prizes or awards of outstanding achievement, membership in associations that require members to be outstanding, publish material in professional publications written by others about non-citizens' work, about the non-citizens' work, which is you are the non-citizen, work in the academic field. So somebody has to write about you. For example, although I didn't apply for this particular thing, as a researcher, I had published a paper, and then in the same journal, that monthly journal, somebody else had written an editorial describing some of the articles of that month, and my name luckily got mentioned, saying that, hey, this particular article, so and so, written about lung cancer screening, he had a few comments about that. Whether it's good or bad comments, at least he commented about that. That was good enough, right? Somebody talking about you. So make people talk about you. Evidence of participation either on a panel or individually as a judge work with others in the same or allied academic field. Evidence of original scientific or scholarly research contributions in the field. Evidence of authorship of scholarly books or articles. Definitely make sure you take up projects, talk to big shot attendings in your institute, professors, and ask them, hey, do you have any recent requests from any major book writers, editors, asking you to write a chapter? Can I contribute to that? Can I contribute to an article, review articles, and so on? Review articles are amazing, by the way. They get a lot of citations. So application process, number 1, extraordinary ability. You may apply for yourself by filing a form I-140, petition for alien worker. You don't need an employer, okay? For outstanding professor and researcher, unfortunately, yes, your US employer must file a form I-140. You cannot apply yourself as an outstanding professor or researcher. I wonder if this is called the EB1B as against EB1A, which you can apply if you apply as extraordinary ability. As part of the application process, your employer must be able to demonstrate a continuing ability to pay the offered wage, and they may use annual reports or tax returns. Okay. Similarly, multinational manager or executive, your employer has to be applying for you. Okay. That's it, guys. Well, I will see you on the other side of this video. Start preparing your portfolio from the get-go as a student, as a trainee, whether you're in the first year or second year here in the US. Start working in such a way that you are going over your everyday routines, trying to pile up these documents and evidences. It's going to be much easier that way. Thank you, folks. I will see you on the other side. EB1 and NIW Guru. Thank you.